This video is sponsored by Hunter Engineering. Visit hunter.com for more information.
Hey guys, David from Tire Review here, coming to you from the Chicago area because, well, what better place for testing a brand new all-weather tire than this land where all 4 seasons happen in a single day? That's right, Hankook Tire invited me over to the Chicago area, specifically the city of Joliet, to experience the Weatherflex GT for myself. I did this by taking a few laps around the track at the famous Autobahn Country Club, next to real professional racers, shouting instructions to help me get the best lap times and really feel all the great attributes of these tires. And, well, you might be surprised to find out what I determined some of those attributes to be. Now, before I talk about how this tire feels, let's dive into a few of the important specs. So first off, this tire is available to order right now in 37 sizes ranging from 15 to 22 inches. That comes with a 70,000 treadwear mileage warranty, and as should be expected with any all-weather tire, we've got this gorgeous 3-peak mountain snowflake designation right here, assuring drivers that this tire will perform well in the winter, even in harsh, snowy conditions. And if you really get up close to the tread pattern, you can see how it helps to deliver that assurance. You see all those tiny sipes in between the grooves? Well, a higher sipe density helps the tire maximize traction in the snow. Hankook added sipes to the center and shoulder blocks to help boost the Weatherflex GT's snow performance. Check out the zigzagged grooves as you move out from the center of the tire, too. The winding of this pattern helps enhance cornering grip in the snow by contacting the road at a wide variety of angles, keeping the driver in control. But just as important as snow performance for the all-weather category is wet performance. See those kind of squiggly sipes on the side there? Hankook calls those 3D grip control sipes, and they help to minimize any particular block's deformation when driving. Better block stiffness means better handling, and that applies to wet and dry conditions. But of course, if we're talking about the wet, we're talking about water, and that can do very bad things for the tire and the driver if that water feels like it's stuck and has nowhere to go. So, to help prevent hydroplaning and just overall enhance control in the rain, Hankook gave these tires fairly wide lateral grooves that quickly and effectively evacuate water out from under the tire. Check it out. Okay, enough talk, let's hit the track. We were given 2 types of vehicles for this test drive, a 2025 Honda Accord and a 2025 Honda Pilot. And I really appreciated that because I think you need more than one vehicle to home in on what a tire is doing and how you're feeling driving them. And remember how I said we experienced all 4 seasons in one day? Yeah, the days started nice and sunny and relatively warm, but by the time it was my turn behind the wheel, let's just say it was getting a little gloomy and doomy. Of important note, it was exceptionally windy and even a tad drizzly, and of course, fighting for control at high speeds normally isn't exactly ideal for an afternoon drive, but for a tire test, yeah, let's go. It was funny, when I first hit the track, and you can see here, I was afraid to push things much past like 50 miles per hour. In fact, it felt like my instructor just couldn't stop telling me more gas throughout the drive. But once I started to trust the tires to do their thing, that's when I started building some confidence and having some fun. And that's perfect, right? I mean, that's exactly what you want out of your tires. You want them to keep you safe and know that whatever the situation, no matter what you plan to put them through, they're going to perform. And once I built that rapport with the Weatherflex GTs, I'll tell you, they felt great. They really did. Now, the most surprising part of the drive for me was how quiet these tires were. And yes, Hankook did tell us ahead of time that their engineers did some work to enhance comfort levels in the cabin and minimize noise. So maybe I shouldn't have been so surprised, but I do have to say, I mean, they were really quiet. A lot of the precise engineering as to how they accomplish this goes over my head, I have to admit, but it's something about the positioning of the tread blocks. They're optimized and positioned to reduce noise caused by the tire's contact to the road while driving. I guess the way it's been explained to me in the past is if you think of the tire like an instrument, like a piano, it's going to generate certain pitches as you travel. If your tread blocks aren't positioned well, those pitches are going to clash, like you're pounding your fist on that piano, and it's going to come across like it's just a lot noisier. But with the right pattern and by varying block sizes like Hankook did here, those pitches are harmonized like a proper chord, and that comes across as more pleasing to the ear. Does that make sense? I don't know. If you're a tire engineer, maybe you can explain it better. Let me know. Now, like many tire manufacturers, Hankook has a lot of tire products designed with different attributes to fit a variety of customer needs, and the company uses these kind of family buckets to help guide both dealers and drivers to the right category. You might already be familiar with their Kinergy or Ventus lines, or their Ion line if you drive an electric vehicle. Well, this new tire, the Weatherflex GT, is the first tire in a brand new line. So I was curious how Hankook made that decision instead of trying to fit the Weatherflex into an already existing family. To find out, I beelined for Rob Nasca. He's the product and marketing training manager at Hankook Tire, and he gave us the lowdown on what we could expect from these tires before we drove on them. He helped me understand what the end user of this family line might be looking for in their tires, and how Hankook hopes the Weatherflex family might come to define those attributes by name alone in the future.
Well, one thing that we've noticed, actually, the consumers are really looking at the market as a whole, and we've noticed that the snow accumulation has actually decreased. It's still getting cold out there in the wintertime, but the snow is not there as much. And so we've actually recognized by having an all-weather tire that's going to be like an all-season, but have that 3 Peak Mountain snowflake, it's going to be better for the consumers. It's also going to be more cost-saving because now the consumer doesn't have to buy a summer and a winter tire, or the all-season and the winter tire. This all-weather tire is going to be able to meet all 4 seasons.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
Now, before we wrap, there's one important note to consider about the Weatherflex GT. Let's take another look at that tread design. That is an asymmetrical tread design, and that's a departure from another of Hankook's popular all-weather tires, the all-weather Kinergy 4S2, which has a directional tread pattern. Now, both have their strengths, but one of the advantages of an asymmetrical tread pattern is that the Weatherflex GT can be rotated from the driver's side to the passenger side of the vehicle, helping to prevent irregular wear patterns from developing. If you did that with a tire with a directional tread pattern, you'd run into performance issues. So guys, there is your look at Hankook's brand new Weatherflex GT all-weather tire. A big thanks to Hankook for inviting me out and really providing such a fantastic opportunity to understand how these tires perform and feel. So now I want to ask, what are your thoughts? All-weather tires are really having a moment right now, don't you think? I mean, have you seen all-weather tires flying off the shelves near you? I'm curious, so let us know. Thanks guys, and take care.